Hey, Mark, what's up, man? How are you?
Hi Dan, good morning. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Not too bad, cannot complain. It's been a good week,
Yeah.
surprisingly, as compared to last week. I think it was last week was crazy for everyone. No, but it's been good.
Yeah, no, it's been a good week, kind of crazy, but all good, all good.
Did it also snow in Austin? I heard it was really cold there yesterday.
We didn't get any snow, but dude, it's cold. So there's like this Arctic blast that came down, I guess, but I'll send some pictures. I'll put some on social media too, but there's like a ice everywhere. So like my truck is completely covered in ice. And then the trees are like
Yep.
so heavy that they're drooping down. So it's kind of crazy, man. And then but there was up in Dallas area, which is I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours north of me. There was 100 car pile up on like the interstate freeway.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Crystal sent me a video yesterday when she rolled down a window, so like a sheet of ice just broke off.
Dude,
I
it's
think she was
super
getting
cold.
around.
Yeah, it's super cold, and then it's supposed to be like this even coming up in the next couple days. So Texas weather, man, it's like 82, and then it's 30. So I'm not sure. Still trying to figure
That's
that
what she
out.
said. That's what she said. She said that even at the Super Bowl, it was like 82 and everyone was out. And then this
Yeah.
week, it's been crazy. But anyway,
Yeah, and then even the longer I live in Texas, the more it's like 60, 70 degrees, and I think I need a jacket. I should probably bring one. It's gonna get chilly. So no, cool. So what's happening, Mark? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. But obviously, it was really early morning here.
Yeah.
It was a fun one. I think, I mean, it was inevitable for them to win it. And I
Yeah.
think they must be really disappointed with the result.
Yeah. Have you seen the memes with the weekend in it? Have you seen all those going around?
I did see some, yes.
Yeah,
I
well, I
did see
thought of
some.
this one like this is like respondents trying to get through a 30-minute survey. So you can't really find your way out. Like you're wondering what the heck's going on here. So yeah. So that's my take on this meme. That's immediately what I thought of is, trying to like get through a survey, like can't find your way out when it's 30 minutes long. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So that was mine. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Mark and I are just kicking off the show today, just kind of bantering back and forth. We have an exciting show, Valentine's Day special. So that's what's kind of going on today. We'll have some interesting data points around Valentine's Day. And I don't think you want to miss that. That'll be coming up a little bit later. We'll do a what in the name of research today. So I have a pretty good one that I found on the Twitter sphere. And then I also have a kind of a newer segment that I'm doing, I guess, as heard on Clubhouse is what I'm calling it. So everyone's talking about Clubhouse now. So I figure we have to get in the mix. We had our first
Hmm.
show, our first Clubhouse room, I guess, last week. So that was fun and exciting. We'll recap a little bit of that. And then we also have, we're doing a weekly show on Clubhouse now called Research Roundup. It's Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Central. Different content than Live with Dan and a little bit different format. I don't know. The first time I actually hosted a room was last week on Clubhouse. I enjoyed the format. Thought it was engaging. People asked some good questions. So, look us up on Clubhouse. I think, Mark, you have the link to that, right?
I
So
do. I do. I do. I'm
we'll be
just
doing that
posting that
weekly.
in there.
Like had everyone from John Johnson, our VP of Customer Success, Vivek, the CEO, was on there. Even had some surprise guests like Rob from IdeaScale, Rit from Try My UI. Even had Peru, he's an old, QuestionPro vet. Obviously not, doing something else now, but he jumped on, asked some questions, along with some other folks too. So this week, I believe like Lenny Murphy from Greenbook might stop by. Jamin is also going to stop by. So a lot of fun guests. I would recommend coming to that, and it's fun. So that's what we're doing on Clubhouse. And other announcements. So we have a big event with Quirks later this month. So I'll be doing like a fireside chat with Prob from Energizer. So around continuous discovery and how you can leverage that process to get quick insights and ongoing insights from your community, your customers. So that'll be an interesting session and one we're really looking forward to. Mark put all these links in there. So the Clubhouse
Yeah.
link and then also the link to the Quirks event. So make sure you check out that one. Both of them will be good. The Quirks event, I think you have to register. I think it's free for a lot of people, so check it out. Of course, I think our content is the best, but there's a lot of good content out there, so I'd recommend checking out Quirks as well. So that's something that you can definitely check out. I keep saying.
You know how I know that the Quarks event and they love our content too? Because I just opened the URL a little while ago, and it seems like they have us on 24th and on 25th. So Prabh and you are going to be speaking twice. That's awesome.
No, I'll be speaking twice. So it'll be live. I think they're doing it like semi-live, so it'll be recorded, but we'll be live answering questions and so forth on there. So I know Prabh and I are both planning to be on, so ask us live questions. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the live format. With two live shows a week now, so this is fun. And then we also have a webinar that Crystal and Adrian are doing. Sort of, Mark, it's like kind of try to stump Adrian, right?
Right. Yeah. So the old format that we did with Karthik, and obviously nobody could stump Karthik. So now we're going to try Adrian. And like you guys spoke about last week. I mean, if somebody could stump them, then you get a good goodie bag or a gift bag from us. So let me put that link in, and you can register to that one.
Yeah. So try to stump Adrian, win a prize or a gift card. So ask your questions if you have things you want to know how to do on QuestionPro, or you're getting stuck, or just want to try to stump Adrian to win some, gift card. Like I would definitely come on there. You'll learn something new. I guarantee it. So that's happening. Mark put the link in there as well. So definitely check that out. Any other announcements, Mark? Or I think that was about it, right? So
that is about it. Yes.
You got Quirks, and you got the office hours coming up all within the next couple weeks. So cool. So why don't we move on? I'll share here something I found on Twitter. This is a little bit old. It was from last year, but still relevant, I think, to us. So this is a What in the Name of Research segment. And in this case, there's a pie chart, but pie charts should add up to 100. Like you can't have more than 100% of the pie. Sometimes I would love to have 178% of the pie, but it doesn't always, it doesn't work out like that.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, in this case, it was, best or biggest COVID-19 worries, getting it, family getting it, the economy. But if you're using a pie chart, you want all of these answers. You want it to add up to 100. You don't want it to add up to 178 in this case. So use a different chart here, please. This was something that I saw and I was like, oh man, I can't believe this. So
I wonder what tool even put this pie chart out, right? I mean, all tools by default have like that intelligence to not put out a pie chart that is 178%. So this is very weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is all about, other than they blew it. I'm not sure. Like it was just bad, bad. So that was something that I saw. And then one thing I also want to talk about is. So as heard on Clubhouse, so this is kind of a new segment I wanted to try out today. And this is some of the things we talked about on Clubhouse on the chat that we had last week. And so we talked about different trends and what we saw moving forward. And these were some of the themes, questions that came up. We did talk a lot about smarter, shorter surveys. And this was something that I really believe is, asking more questions but more frequently. And you can do this a lot with longitudinal. We talked about longitudinal tracking, but also more of the continuous discovery process where, get a community of your people together, ask them smarter, shorter surveys. You can even do this outside of the community as well with just really get to the point. Like, you saw the meme earlier with The Weeknd, trying to find his way through the kind of the glass gold maze there. And I really feel that's how respondents think. Like if you try to do a 20 to 30 minute survey, the data that you're getting there by the end is going to be bad because of so much respondent fatigue. Like make your surveys focused, short, to the point, and you'll complete it. I think, Rob Hohen from IdeaScale, he gave an example of, hey, he got a survey from Microsoft and it was so long, he couldn't even finish it. He had to stop halfway through. So Mark, I think you were in the chat too, right? On
yeah, I was listening in, yes.
Yeah. So that was something that was interesting. I think some other things that we talked about and trends that I see continuing are online qualitative research. So obviously with the pandemic, we've talked about this before, but I think it makes sense to bring it up again, that pushed a lot of people online. And I think sometimes the market research world can be, late adopters. And I think that with having to push people more to online setting, it definitely helped out, not only getting people to use it, but also the improvement of these tools and really learning and getting some of those different insights that push people, right, to kind of adapt. And we had to adapt too. We pushed out online focus groups and other more qualitative type features, and it expedited our roadmap because, hey, people wanted these things, right? So that's something that we did. Instant responses. I think I stole this term from Anoop, but I'm going to claim it as mine because that's what all great people do, right? No, is really, speed to insights. So he probably heard it from somewhere else. And anyway, so that's what I think here with instant responses is how fast can you get from like one idea to, or one thought, one thing you're curious about to those insights, right? How quickly can we get your survey out? Can we get those responses collected? How quickly can you get those answers? And that's really what we're talking about with instant responses and getting those answers quickly. Like maybe we have some of this data, or you've asked some of this data in the past, and you can just search all of your surveys and find out this information, or we can get you those responses quickly with, we're working on, we have this many different things, but instant answers is one of our products that we're actively pushing. And I've seen a lot of interest and also people using it. It's really taken off quite well, where you can ask a question in your Slack environment, get those responses back, and a chart gets pushed out in a matter of minutes, right? So we're really talking about the speed to insights here, and something that we've seen work really successfully, and there's a big need in the market as well. And then contactless surveys. So this is something, obviously, with COVID, people, don't want to like touch more things than they have to, and are kind of weary about that. So what can we do to, push more contactless surveys? And I know John Johnson's group is pushing contactless surveys pretty heavily. So that's something that I think is a key that came up. And then one other thing that came up during the chat that I thought was pretty interesting is around sort of, I think Rob called it like short kind of progressive surveys, where it's a little bit like kind of the smarter, shorter surveys, but you're getting these different data points in time. Now this, I think in theory, works out really well because you're getting all these data points, but also you got to make sure that it's the same people, I think. So there's some hurdles around that. But if you do have this continuous discovery process in place with a good community where you can reach out to, you can do more of those progressive surveys. And then obviously other examples of the pandemic, pushing people towards things is large companies, large government, obviously entities had to do different things with their citizens. That pushed them to do different testing on websites and things that, like Rip brought up from Try My UI, that, he saw that people weren't normally doing, but because of such the large scale, they had to see, different breakpoints and things like that. So those were things that I think obviously helped push more people to research, and then also help research advance as well. Mark, what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I think a bunch of that is very interesting, and I'm glad you brought up the example that Rob said. We've been hearing about this a lot, right? I mean, you want to deploy shorter surveys, but at a little more frequent interval to keep tracking sentiments and keep tracking change, especially since with COVID, so much is changing on a daily and a weekly basis, right? Even from a consumer research standpoint, I think it's very key to be able to draw insights on a weekly basis rather than like before, where you say you run a huge study and then you only do that once every quarter. I think that was a great point. I do have a follow-up question to all of this, though, Dan. I mean, and you said it yourself. So, market research, you said, are in general has been they've been late to the party with adoption of technology, right?
Yep.
But now with things getting better with COVID and obviously with a lot of governments pushing people to take the vaccines. Do you think any of these trends will disappear? Do you think people will want to go back to offline focus groups, or do you think that because they've gotten so comfortable with the idea now and the efficacy of it, it'll stay? I mean, I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting conversation, and I think people will go back, to in person when that time comes. I think majority will still stay online. You'll probably have a greater mix, maybe higher frequency of some of these projects, because in person is good. Like, even, like when I visit India, like the in-person aspect of it is different than always chatting over video. It just is, right? Like, I think human beings by nature want to be connected and talk to each other face to face, but because of like the different barriers that there might be, or whether that's geographic, COVID, whatever it might be, or other things that come up, I think the online will always have a place, and I think we'll continue to get a bigger segment. But I also think it just increases the frequency and the volume of research as well, because it's so easy with our tool and other tools out there, honestly, to jump on, get a quick group up from a variety of geographic areas with similar interests all together in one spot. So I would say probably more of a mix, and that would be my answer to that, at least off the cuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting because you obviously can't take the emotive aspect out of market research, right? Because then you're discrediting all of the data points that you receive. No, but that's interesting. I want to see how this pans out in the next few months.
Yeah. So no, those are super interesting things. So, well, let's move on to our Valentine's Day special. Mark, I know you really want to hear this for the sweetheart in your life, I'm sure.
I was very excited for this.
Yeah, I know you were. All right. So we asked a survey to our community, or our panel that we have, the My Opinions panel, and had some pretty interesting data points here. So first, I want to just go through some of the results, and then I want to break it down by male and female. So we'll kind of do those different variants here with different filters. So this one is interesting. It's do men know what women want? So most people said no, right? So I think maybe it's a general consensus here. I'm not sure, but 53% said no. More said, some said yes. The 30% or so said yes. So I thought that was interesting. So do men know what women want? But then this was interesting. Do women know what men want? So women know what men want, apparently, right? So more obviously said yes. So 58% said yes there. So that's interesting. And if you're just joining us, we're going through our Valentine's Day survey results here on our data segment. So kind of an interesting play there, where women know what men want, but men don't know what women want, according to our audience. So I think probably we would come to that consensus, I would think, without this, but interesting to validate nonetheless. And this was a question that I wanted to ask: was we be going out to dinner this Valentine's Day? Thinking with COVID and things, are people just planning to stay home? But this was actually pretty interesting. So I asked, are you going out to dinner for Valentine's Day? Most 70% said no. And then, 25 or so percent, 29% said yes. But of the people that said no, I wanted to say, in a typical year, would you normally go out for Valentine's Day? Still, the vast majority said no, they wouldn't go out. So I think people weren't necessarily not going out because of COVID. Certainly there's some of them, but people are staying in for Valentine's Day. And so it's kind of an interesting data point there that I thought.
Keeping the spark alive at home.
Yeah, I guess so. So which of the following would you want the most from your significant other this Valentine's Day? So this, we got a range of answers, and the other specifies, got kind of suggestive. So we might just skip over those, but we like to keep it a little bit PG here on Unfiltered here, or on Live with Dan. So, but I think the most people just want to hear "I love you," words of those nice sentiments and sweet nothings, I suppose. But some want a romantic dinner, some want flowers, candy. So kind of interesting there. And you'll see some of the other answers there between all the above, a gift basket, continued togetherness, and so forth. So which of the following do you think your significant other would want most this Valentine's Day? So that's what do you want? And then this is do you think that your significant other would want the most? So romantic dinner was, kind of one here along with I love you. But I think a lot of people, if we look back up, what do you want the most from your significant other this Valentine's Day? To hear I love you. And that was, kind of an interesting juxtaposition between what do you think people want? So it kind of matched up there. The romantic dinner, I think people think that they want that, but in reality, it's not maybe as important as some of these other things. So kind of interesting. And then how romantic do you expect this Valentine's Day to be? So, I mean, 48 people of 100, so 47%, almost 48% said not at all romantic, which was interesting to me. Like you think about Valentine's Day and it's like, it's the romantic, holiday or event. So moderately romantic and then very romantic was the least. So could be a function of the year. Not sure. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I'm also very surprised with that. But then also I think people have been spending a lot of time in general with family and around their loved ones, especially due to the pandemic. So maybe they've caught up on all of that in the past 1 year. And
so that's a hot take from Mark. He's like, hey, people have been together enough. They need to, no. They've been getting romantic all year. All right, I got that. How much would you like your significant other to spend on you? So the vast majority said nothing. The next highest was, $11 to $30. So pretty reasonable there. And then the next one was 100 plus. So people either want nothing, a little bit, or,
or way too much,
or spend some cash on me. And then how much are you planning to spend? So this actually kind of lined up pretty well with how much people wanted them to spend and how much they were planning to spend, which, kind of surprised me. So that was something a little bit interesting here on our Valentine's Day data point survey. And then do you think Valentine's Day is the best day of the year to get engaged? So surprisingly, I thought 35% said yes. I would think that it would be a little bit lower, but a lot of people still, think that Valentine's Day is a nice day to get engaged. So hopefully that works out for the people that want to get engaged this Valentine's Day. And then this was interesting. I thought, what is the most important quality you look for when choosing a significant other? So people were nice here and they said shared interest, friendship, so the things that I think you want to hear. Surprisingly, good looks was only, less than 2%. Money, humor. So kind of interesting. People are really sentimental, I think, this Valentine's Day with some of the different answers that we're getting here between some of the answers we saw earlier. Just, I want to hear I love you, romantic dinner, to shared interests and friendship. So, Mark, I think we're also helping people out. Anyone that's listening, like, take note. It doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to be from the heart. Okay.
And we know that this is high quality survey respondents. I mean, somewhere Tim watching this is really happy that the quality of responses is like super high. Everything's aligning. Like,
oh, here. This is what Tim said. Ping QuestionPro to see if your potential fiance wants to get engaged on Valentine's Day. Those are the kind of insights that we can give you. Easy, right?
Solving the problems and challenges of love since 2007.
That's right. And then this is more, kind of demographic info. Look, quickly, let's switch over and let's see some of these results when we talk about male and female. So in this, male is the darker blue, female is the lighter blue. Okay. So just remember that as we're going through some of these results. So do men know what women want? Males were, yes, they know what women want. It was the women that said no, right? So this is pretty interesting here. So I think men think they know what women want, but women but then women say, no way, men don't know what we want. So that's interesting. And then, but what's here I think is more interesting, Mark, do women know what men want? Pretty even, right? Like, this was pretty even. So between male and female again here. So male's the darker shade of blue again, and female's the lighter shade. So this was an interesting point here. And then, will you be going out for dinner on Valentine's Day? This question was yes. So, men said yes. More women said no, which I thought was interesting. So kind of an interesting point there. Do you typically go out? Let's skip here to, okay. Which of the following would you want the most from your significant other on Valentine's Day? So what I would say that, women here, females, they said to hear I love you. That was, sort of the most. But then men kind of tied between the hear I love you, romantic dinner, flower, kind of all those were in there. And then of course you had some others like other specifies there. So this is what would you want the most from your significant other? And then this is which of the following do you think your significant other wants the most? So females thought that men would want the romantic dinner. Look at men like the flowers, right? So that's interesting, I think, right? So just some interesting points here on some of those different points. How romantic do you expect this Valentine's Day to be? So look at men say very romantic, moderately romantic, but the women are like, no, I'm not expecting it to be romantic at all. So that's an interesting point right there between male and female perspective for sure.
I think all the men in our panel are liars, Dan.
hey now, Mark, careful now. And then how much would you like to spend, or how much would you like your significant other to spend? So pretty close here, I think. It looks like men want, their wives or significant others to spend $100+ where women are like, nope, not happening. And then how much are you planning to spend? Men are planning to spend more than women. So kind of interesting there, right? So as we break some of this data down simply between male and female, you could also break it down through some of the other demographic questions that we had, but some interesting things here. Pretty even between males and females on what they look for in a partner. I think, males said good looks, at least 6% said that. So kind of interesting on that standpoint. So that's our Valentine's Day survey. Use this advice at caution, but this is what we found out through our My Opinions community. So some interesting points there for sure. Great. Mark, anything else we should cover today? If not, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, we should do that. Just one point of note, though. I think today, if I remember correctly, is the 20th episode. I mean, who would have thought that 20th or the 19th? But I don't know, but we're at about there.
Yeah, the 20th episode, we're going to have a big party. So I think,
So then that's the next one.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week, same time.
See you. Bye.